Thank you. Will Rhiann Salisbury-Cole stand by, and I call Michael Ninnmey to speak in favour of the motion. Can I say that I have had a request for a reference back, which I will take later in the debate.
Good afternoon, conference. Lovely here in Bournemouth, isn't it? Really wonderful. You've got superb beaches, you've got wooden groins, you've got a council that's actually determined to make the best and the most of its tourist resort offer. I would like to actually compare what Bournemouth has to what we've suffered in Suffolk, particularly Suffolk coastal, since the terrible slaughter of this party's councillors going from 4,420 down to 1,810. I and 11 of my colleagues were a part of that slaughter, and we saw what little actual improvement was made to our resort to actually attract and give a better resort time to visitors. The resort I actually live in is bounded by the River Deben and the River Orwell. The Deben has a unique, very elderly settlement called the Ferry, which is virtually, time has stood still there. There's been a pub that's been closed for over 3 years, and no action is taken to find out why that is the case, why it is not a part of the offer. If you come down past the £21 million worth of sea defences, which on our coast is actually done with Norwegian rock, nobody really quite knows why, though it was designed by that well-known tourist destination, Croydon, apparently, a seaside town, well known to you that live in London. Very little expertise seems to be available to determine what actually does the best that you can have for a tourist resort. I could talk about Sutton Hoo, the fact that they wish to bring in a ferry operating from Felixstowe Ferry up into Woodbridge, which would have given the experience that the Vikings had when they came to raid the Saxons, and that wonderful death mass which is currently living in the British Museum, which somebody said earlier, I think the proposer of this motion, that perhaps we could have back and perhaps we could have it on the site at Sutton Hoo. But I think it's the town itself and the job potentials that really worry me. Now, I am 3 times the age, or my membership of this party or its preceding one, 3 times the age of that 13-year-old girl that spoke to us yesterday with such conviction and clarity, and I was amazed. This is my first speech or presentation to a conference. Quite terrifying, really. But I think what we do need to do within this policy is actually empower our councillors and our community to challenge and challenge again that what is being done with their money in their resort isn't good enough. We deserve better, and we should all, because we all go to the seaside, don't we? We should all
Michael,
ask
can you bring your
for
comments
better.
to a close?
Thank you.